Today I'm very excited to share this video with you, and this is about my hobby, which is 3D printing, and how it rescued one of the broken auto-refractometer, which is a costly machine used in ophthalmology. So the story starts where this joystick, which is used to control the up, down, and sideways movements, that is X, Y, and Z movement of the auto-refractometer, plus a switch which is connected to it on the top to click and capture the status of the image, was broken. And this is made of a hard plastic, and it has few very strict requirements. Usually these kind of broken parts are provided by the company as a spare replacement, so these machines can be repaired. So this was the situation where the joystick is missing, the switch has been removed, which is on top of these wires, and the auto refractometer was just not functional. Now the problem was that this was an old auto refractometer, something like 7 years old, and by that time the model has become obsolete and the company was unable to provide any spare replacement. So there was no service support on the part of the company for their this reason that they didn't have any spares. So I judged that we could rescue this, and if we take some initiative, we can actually get this auto refractometer back in working condition and don't have to buy a new one. And this was possible because I have a hobby of 3D printing. So I own a 3D printer and I casually use it for some creative work, and some part of it is like designing few useful things. And in this process I've also learned computer aided designing, so I can design simple items with exact dimensions if they are needed for any particular thing. And commonly I use them to print internet downloaded models and at times replacement parts for my household items. And it's an interesting hobby and I like it. When this situation arose, I used my hobby of 3D printing and also the knowledge about using a computer aided designing software. I designed this joystick control which had exact dimensions and the features which are required. So this is the view which we get in a CAD software where we can see the design part in every possible angle. And here it is after getting printed using a 3D printer, and I can point out that there are few features which are important for this kind of replacement. These are two projections which are supposed to fit into a notch so that they can rotate the gear system. Then we have some serrations, vertical serrations here, and these are supposed to fit into a bearing which will be held by these serrations which will fit into it, and the upper part had these threads which would mount a switch which had equivalent threads. So we can also watch this video which will show us all these features as seen after getting printed, and it had a textured surface for controlling, rough surface for rotating this knob when required for Z axis movement, and these are the notches, projections which will fit into the notches. And the inner part or the deeper, if we look closely, we have these vertical serrations which will fit the gear. This design fitted well, and as you can see this was being installed in the auto refractometer, and as you can see that it has fitted well over the base, and these are the connections which are protruding out, and this is that shows the ball bearing inside which is fitted there, and this is the switch which is being soldered by the service support person. And so we were able to revive this dysfunctional auto-refractometer, and at a very minuscule cost, which would have costed few lakhs of rupees as if he could have gone for a replacement. And the 3D printed part costed 1 hour of my time in designing it, and the part utilizes the material which is costing rupees 15, and this is a material known as PLA or polylactic acid. And the 3D printer was actually free because it is already owned by me, as I'm using it to pursue my hobby. And so this is how I could save one auto refractometer just as a fraction of cost, and using 3D printing as a tool. So I hope everybody likes this, and maybe it may motivate some of us to take up something like this as a hobby. Thank you.